It's just a shift. When you surrender, boy, I feel like, I surrender every day, everything. And it's a shift from your head to your heart. That's what surrender is about. It's about trying to control it and trying to fix it with your ego. And then it's taking a breath and then just drop into your heart and surrendering whatever's going on. I surrender to the light. And that's what we're talking about today. That's what I'm talking about mainly, is living in your heart, living in this heart space. Because when we live in our heart space, we're able to kind of, ward off the dramas in life and all of the communication stuff that we do. We speak better, we feel better, we are better, what I thought about when we, a couple of years ago, did you think of that too?
Uh-huh.
We took a trip to Italy, and from Rome to, where did we go, to Florence. Yeah, and there were all these fields, and they were so beautiful, and I tried to take pictures, and they never turned out. We were on a bus, so I found this on the internet. But it's this field, and I think about that space so often. There was a little house, actually, I remember seeing it, and it was like, that's the field. It was this field where it felt like you could just live forever in your heart, and you would be there. And I thought of the quote that was, out beyond ideas of right and wrongdoing, there's a field, and I'll meet you there. And that's what I think about all the time, is that when stuff's tough in my life, this place that you can just go. It doesn't have to be out there, it's really in here. It's something that we don't even create. It's already here. It's all around us. It's just that we have to tune into it. We have to know it. It's really interesting. Last night when I went to bed, I was reading an article about a lady that was 104 years old, and amazing woman, just dynamic, she was wonderful. And they asked her, she was interviewed, and they said, well, what's the secret? What do you do, to be so healthy, so agile, so loving your life at 104 years old? And her answer was that she finds 10 things a day that open her heart space, And I love that answer because, I've been talking to different groups about my practice of every day finding what opens my heart. And then writing it down at night, and I go back and I look at all the stuff that opens it. It can be anything, I go around looking sometimes at like the flowers or the sunset, or the baby smiles or whatever it is. But living in your heart, and that's what she said. It's living in this space. So that's kind of where I want to go with this today, is that this is the field that is here for us, right? It's here right now. It's in it, it's around us, it's where we live, where we move, where we have our being. That's the field of love. That is ours if we just step into it, if we acknowledge it. It's the field where there's kindness, where there's compassion, where there's love, where there's wisdom. It's a God field. Who is it that does the Divine Matrix? Greg Braden. He talks about it being the Divine Matrix. It's called the God field. But it's the energy. It's the vibration. It's what we feel when Judy was doing the meditation, and if you were listening, if you were, you might not have felt it, but if you were in that vibe, all of a sudden your vibration, your energy raises to meet that field that's all around us. See? And so when we live in that field, our life changes. We're prayed up. Judy and I call it being prayed up. Whenever we counsel, whenever we meet with somebody, when we're prayed up, we say things better, right? We do things better because we are the hands and feet of God in the world. And so that's what we're talking about, surrendering everything to this field of God that we're in. Hafiz is another. Rumi was the one that I said before, and Hafiz is a 14th century mystic poet too, and I love him. I love them both, and they're profound. And what he said when was asked, what are the signs of somebody that's entered that field? He said, what are the signs of somebody who knows God? And one of the signs of somebody who knows that field is, he said, they have dropped their cruel knife that they so often use on their self, their tender self, and others. Drop their tender knife, or drop their cruel knife on their tender self. What does that mean? It's that we've dropped our weapons. We're surrendered. We dropped our weapons that we use on each other. We might not use knives on each other, but we use words, thoughts. We use, that energy. Life is all about energy. We use that negative energy on each other, And if we want to be able to surrender and live in that beautiful field of God's energy, then we've got to look at how we're saying things, how we're doing things. We look at hurtful words, because like the beginning said, that words hurt and words heal. And today you can just look at your own words so far, in the how many hours you've been up, 3 or 4 hours, what have you said? Have they hurt people? Have they healed people? What have your words done? It's important for us to look at that. Because words are vibration, they're energy. They say that's how the universe was created, with the sound of Om, with vibration. And that's how powerful that our words are. Are they healing? Words, I remember as a kid, my mom used to say, sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me. And I don't believe that to be true. And I think if you ask a kid that's been bullied, he wouldn't say that words don't hurt, because words hurt. And they're powerful. And it's up to each and every one of us to be able to look at how we're expressing, look at our energy. I was reading last night Messages in Water. You guys remember Emoto? I don't know, it's the work of the water crystals. Very interesting. If you haven't, we could do a whole talk on that, but it's about love and gratitude, our words that we use on water, and how they've done these experiments on water, and water forms these beautiful crystals when they hear the word love and gratitude in any language. And they've done all these experiments, all the researchers have, and when you use hateful words, the water, the patterns are rigid, and it's crazy. It really works. Our words are important, So I got to thinking about, how we speak to people, and one of the things I think I've always admired is somebody that is frank, right? They can say what they mean, but here's what I want to say about that, because I think it's important that we come from our heart. We speak our truth. But being frank is kind of overrated. Haven't you ever had someone go, can I share my truth with you? Or, let me, here, I need to speak frankly. What do you think first? It's like, oh man, what did I do? I need to speak frankly. And when they share, it's usually their truth, right? Their truth. So that's kind of important. So I read this quote about that. It says that, where is it? Tennessee Williams once remarked, all cruel people describe themselves as paragons of frankness, right? And so we have to kind of look at that, because I think it's important to be authentic. I just think that unfiltered frankness needs to be used with kindness, right? So if you have to share something, and we do, I know Judy and I have to sometimes say things we don't want to say, and boy, we have to pray up and we have to be kind to be able to say the things that we need to say. And so I guess that's what I'm sharing with you. When you speak with people, when there's stuff that you need to say and share from your heart, and we should share and be authentic, it needs to be done with a kindness too. Kindness really matters. Being authentic matters. So show the next slide, will you, David? I like this, and you probably have heard it before, but it's so true. It's so something that's important for us to remember. Think, think before you speak, right? And here's the acronym. Is it true? Is it helpful? Is it inspiring? Is it necessary to say? And is it kind? If we stop, breathe, and remember those things before we speak to someone, our communication is so much different. You can just say, if you can't remember them all, just say true, necessary, or kind. Before you say it. I taught that to my kids. That didn't work yet, but but the little ones, and well, even the big ones. But it's something that we should remember. It is something that we need to do. Something that words need to be kind. They need to be kind no matter what they say, instead of blurting out these truths that we think are so true. Another sign, of being in this field, this beautiful field of energy, this vibration of God, another sign of being in there is that we have the ability to take on what other people give us, right? So not everything's kind. You might say something that I don't feel is kind, but the truth is, if I've built up the sea of consciousness, the sea of love, I'm able to take these actions and turn it into a compassion, right? So I'm able to breathe in and not take it personally. One of the 4 agreements, don't take things personally. And that's what we're talking about. If we want to live in this field, we speak kind, and we don't take everything personally that other people say to us. We breathe it in, we feel it, and then we let it go. We don't take it personally. We shift the energy. And I've always said that life is about shifting our energy. We're energy beings. We're vibrational beings. And that's what words are. That's what actions are. Everything is energy. Everything is energy. So our job is to be these energy shifters. of everything that comes to us. I think that's huge. That when we can see through the ego of somebody that says something mean to you and see their essence, you've shifted energy. You've changed yourself, and you've changed You've changed the other person just by being able to see through to their heart. By dropping from your head to your heart, you're able to change your vibration and change your life and change the world all in one. You do it all by shifting to this field that's in your heart. Here's a quote that I love from Mother Teresa that speaks to this. She says, people are often unreasonable and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you're kind, people may accuse you of ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are honest, people may cheat you. Be honest anyway. If you find happiness, people may be jealous. Be happy anyway. The good you do today may be forgotten tomorrow, but do good anyway. Give the world the best you have, and it may never be enough, but give your best anyway. For you see, in the end, it's between you and God. It was never between you and them anyway. Don't you love that? It's never about them. It's about us and God. Everything is. What are you going through in your life? What do you have to surrender to? See, it's between you and God. It's not between you and someone else. It's not between somebody that you're in an argument with. It's not between their ideas and your ideas, what's right and what's wrong. It's between you and God. And God's in that field. You are part of that field. You open your heart and your vibration changes, And if we want to live in the field, we got to do what Mother Teresa said. We've got to be kind anyway. We've got to be loving anyway. We've got to show gratitude, It's about shifting energy. It's about transforming your life. I always said, let's just BAM it. Remember what BAM it means? Bless it, accept it, and move on. Okay, that's for little stuff. You know what? When people say something, okay, I bless it, accept it, and move on. I just BAM it. But when something big comes to you, you got to do it a little bit differently, You have to feel it. It takes a little more than just BAMing it sometimes, It's a process. See, life is a process. There's small hurts and there's big hurts, and we have to know, which one it is. We have to open our heart, feel it, and then let it go. Pima Chodron, Buddhist nun, says, we got to be fully present with these big hurts if we don't want to take them in and get stuck, have this stuck energy here. We got to feel them, we've got to be present with it, and then you have to open your heart, just what we're talking about. Open your heart and feel what you're feeling. You can't just pretend it's not there. It's part of the energy, right? You can't shove down energy, it comes right back up. You feel it, you send love to it, and let it process on out. That's what she says. And then she says, you engage in the next moment with no agenda, which means be present. Don't figure out what you're going to do. Be present in your life. Open up your heart and love. We have an opportunity, all of us, man, to change ourselves, the world, to be in this field of love, and we get to choose it. We get to choose, are we going to stay in our head and try to figure stuff out, or are we going to let God, So today, my invitation as I close is that we access this field of consciousness, that we find 10 things. I encourage you this week, when you go out, you can find things every day to open up your heart. What is it that makes you feel? What raises your vibration? Is it that flower that you're looking at? But you got to choose to do it. Half the time we just walk right by. Walk right by all of this beauty in life. Everything that comes to us. Open your heart, see it, raise your vibration, change it. And your life will change. Your life will completely change. So let it go, feel it, access that field, and I'll meet you there. Thank you.